Hello and welcome back to my channel. I've come on today to show you some of the things that I've been making because I've just recently discovered shrink plastic. It's not something I've seen a lot of before, and I've just seen a couple of videos on YouTube and I thought I'd really like to try that. So the first thing I did was I bought some of the Sizzix shrink plastic sheets. There's 10 in this pack. I bought this off eBay and it was under £10, so this was the first thing I bought, and I did try and do it just with the heat gun and holding whatever I was shrinking down, and I found it was just flying off in all directions. So that's no good. I noticed on the back of here it did show that there were some accessories that you could buy to go with the shrink plastic to make it a lot easier. So I went back onto eBay and there was a lovely seller. In fact, it was the same seller I bought this from. She was also selling the accessories kit. Now it was brand new but without its box, and along with this, she sold this the price it would have been on Amazon, but she actually sold it with a heat gun, a brand new heat gun. I thought, well, my black heat gun that I've got, it started to make funny noises, so I was quite pleased to get a second heat gun as well. So I felt as if I got quite a good bargain there, and this is brilliant. I really find this a lot easier. So basically you get the heat proof mat, and then you get this sort of, I don't know what this is made out of, but it's obviously heat resistant, and you've got a little handle so your hand is well away from the heat of the heat gun, and you just put your little piece of die cut plastic underneath and it heats through, and you just lift it to let it do its thing, and then you can actually press it down to flatten it if need be once it's softened and shrunk down. And you can also use this side of it to hold down whatever it is you're shrinking. So what I'll do is I'll show you some of the little bits and pieces that I've done so far, and then I've got some bits and pieces that I can actually show you how I'm doing, how I actually make them. So first of all, I've got some butterflies. So these ones here, these three here, we're using, I'll find the die, was this. So as you can see, it starts off as a really big butterfly. This is my biggest butterfly. It's actually the most intricate one. I've got lots of other dies, but the more intricate a piece is, a die actual set is, I would say some things don't cut out as well. So this one I can just about get away with. I can actually cut the pieces out. The pieces do punch out quite well. So as you can see, the size it actually shrinks to, it's quite small. So anything that I'm making, it's going to stay relatively small. So I'm going to be on the lookout for bigger dies, I think. I mean, this is another butterfly one here, which actually I just got in a magazine. It was the, let's see, it was this Simply Cards and Papercraft, issue 239. So this actually came with that magazine. So you've got the stamp set to go with the die, and this was the first and only one I've done so far using that. And as you can see, the little antennae haven't worked on this one. So there's supposed to be some antennae, I don't know that you can see, but they're just kind of shriveled, and one actually fell off. But all I did there was I cut out the shape out of the shrink plastic, and then I stamped before I shrunk it, obviously, and then coloured it in just with some felt pens, and they've dried really nicely on there. And then I've shrunk it down to that size. I've got some really small ones here. Again, they were just, it was just an outline of a butterfly. There was no intricate sort of bits that would need to come out, and they've worked quite well. Lovely gold one there, and another one there, and I've actually put a hole in that one, and then that one I put some stamping on that one, some little circles. Again, the antennae doesn't really work so well on there. So those are my butterflies, but I'm really impressed with how these come out. This one was actually using some pixie powder, so it is quite shimmery, and these ones were just the oxide inks which dry on quite nicely. So those are the butterflies. I've also done some sort of tags. Now what I did learn, this one was my first attempt. You've got a shiny side and you've got a matte side. So obviously I stamped, and I did use the stays on. I stamped on the matte side, obviously because the ink won't stick to the shiny side, but then you've got to remember that if you're printing words, it's going to be, the shiny side's going to be on the other side. So obviously my words are back to front there. So that was a learning curve. So you can stamp the words on the shiny side, but you must use this. The stays on. Regular ink just won't dry on it at all. And then another thing I did learn, I actually punched the hole after I'd shrunk it, and it cracked it. So any holes that you want to put in the shrink plastic, do it before you shrink it down, and then that won't happen, because it hasn't happened again. I've managed to put the holes in before I've shrunk it. So there's a little flower that I just stamped on, and this one was fun. I just used some of the oxide inks there and a little stamp. It says "Hey Girl," and then this one, and again they're not perfect, they've got sort of dimples and bits in them, but it's still early days. I haven't done too much of it yet. So those were those, and then I've got some flowers. So I started out just doing basic flowers. I stamped on that one and then put the gold on those two and just made them so that they were flat. But then I watched a video on YouTube, and the lady showed you how you can actually curve, sort of, I don't know what you'd say, sort of curve it so that the petals are sticking up. So these are actually two flowers stuck together, a bigger one and a smaller one. And then I've stuck them together just with the glossy accents. And then this was some of the stickles in the middle. I don't know whether you can see. And then there's a pink one there, the same. So to actually get them to curve up, I just used, once they've been shrunk down, they do stay quite malleable for a few seconds. So in that time, I just moved it across to this sponge, and then I used one of these tools just to press it down in the middle, and the petals, I just sort of fluffed them up around the edges, and I got those effects there. I think they're quite cute. So that was my flowers, and then I bought a die again off eBay. So this was quite a large leaf. I was probably inspired by the actual picture on the shrink plastic pages there. I thought that leaf looked really nice, and on the back as well you can see they've added different colours to it there. So I managed to find one of those leaves, or similar, and they shrink down like that. So we've got like a plain green one there, so they work really well. This one I put a hole in it, and this one I've got some script on it, but a couple of the little leaves have stuck together there, and I just used vintage photo on that one, but it's come out a bit dark. So those were my leaves, and then the rest of what I've got are just what I've been playing, really, sort of getting used to how it works, because it is really magical when it works. The way it shrinks down, you think that what you're doing is ruined because it just all shrivels up, but then it does flatten out again. It's amazing. So we've got a little chick there, and there's a couple of little bunnies there. You can see if I leave them on there, you can maybe see them better. And some hearts. I've tried to do some of my toadstools because I've got some toadstool dies, but the thing to remember is that it has to be quite a big die, otherwise it just shrinks down to nothing. So these are all made, I mean, this was a 2.5 inch circle punch, so this has gone down quite a long way, and this one even smaller. Again, I stamped it on the matte side, so the shiny side is back to front. So those were all just part of practice, really. So what I'll do now is I'll show you what it can do. So what I've got here is I've got some pieces that I've cut out, or I've left over from one of the sheets. I think I'll probably do my favourite butterfly, actually. So I'll just move this out of the way. And I'll just bring in my little cutter. And I'll just place that on there. And put the butterfly face down. And I'll just put this through here. And bring it back again just for good measure. As you can see, it does come out quite well, but I will get my little pokey tool and I'll just get the pieces out of here. So I'll do that and then I'll come back. Alright, that's all of the pieces removed. So that's the butterfly. And what I'm going to do now is put some colour on it. Let me think, what colour can I put on it today? I might actually use the gold. This goes on quite well. And I'm just going to add gold to here. There we go. Surface on. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the heat-proof mat and this tool and the heat gun. I'm going to heat it on the shiny side. And what I'll probably do is I'll try and drown out the noise of the heat gun. I hope you can see. I wonder if I should zoom in a little bit. There we go. And we'll just press that down, and there we go. And there's our little butterfly. So it started out being this size, and it shrinks down to this size. And it's not very thick, so you could add that to ATCs, cards, anything really. And there is holes already in this butterfly, so you could put a little bulb ring through there, or I'm thinking of maybe looking into making jewellery. I think we could make, if we had the right shape, and the possibilities are endless for making, could I make dangly earrings, or really enjoying exploring what I can make next. So that's a little gold butterfly. So as I say, there's flowers that I've been making. These are sort of the best style. Anything that hasn't got too many intricate pieces that need to be pushed out. The shrink plastic I've found does struggle with that. So those flowers came out well. Those were the flowers that I used to create these ones. And yeah, I'm going to make some more tags. Those are the tags I used, the biggest tag that I've got on there. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll continue to play, and when I've made some more things, I'll come back and show everybody what I've made. So thanks for watching today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.